Information. What is information? Now, if you look it up in Wikipedia, it'll say that which informs. Now, that doesn't tell you a whole lot. Information is that which informs. But they go on to say that information is that which reduces possibilities. It reduces the number of possibilities. If I wonder what the temperature is outside, and you come up to me and you say it's 73 degrees out, you've reduced the number of possibilities of what the temperature can be outside by a fairly significant amount. And that kind of thing is measured in something called bits. Now, you may not be familiar with the term bits, but I'm sure you're familiar with bytes. Because bytes, you measure your cell phone. I'm sure you go into the store and you say, I want a cell phone. And they'll say, well, how many gigabytes do you want to have on there? And depending on how many gigabytes, you'll pay the amount. If you want a cheap one, you'll get 16 gigabytes. If you want to get an expensive one, it might be $1,000 for one that's got 256 gigabytes. But with 256 gigabytes, a quarter of a terabyte, you can hold something like about 500 television movies, full-length movies on your phone, if you wanted to do that, if that's what you wanted to remember. Or all the pictures of your kids and your grandkids and the places you've been and everything else, and you'll never fill the thing. But you're paying for information. No, so what's happened is, back in an earlier time, you might have thought that things were valued according to how much of it you got. Remember when you were a 5-year-old, you don't want this little present, you want a big present, because a big present is better than a little present, and everything is measured by size. And so your older brother or sister comes up to you and says, I've got this beautiful nickel here, and you've got that little tiny dime. Wouldn't you like this bigger nickel for the dime? And usually the 3 or 4-year-old will trade because they want the bigger one. They think the bigger one's better. Well, that's not the case in that situation. And so, but that's where we got, that's the way we were thinking at that time, is that more was better, mo better. But then now, for instance, we went through an energy period. We still are in the energy period. You still pay for energy. You pay for your gas bill, your electric bill. Those are energy bills. You're paying for. You go buy batteries at the store. The thing you're buying is energy. And now all of a sudden, size doesn't matter. You don't want big. You want little. You want to get a little tiny battery that will fit in your cell phone. These ones that are in the cell phones are really small and powerful. I'm sure you've seen there's so much power in those phones that if they make them wrong, you can start a fire. There are some cell phones that have been disallowed from going on planes because they start fires. And so they've got a lot of energy in some of these phones. But anyhow, so that was going from matter to energy. And now this is one step beyond that, which is with the age we live in. What's the name of the age we live in? We don't live in the Iron Age or the Bronze Age. Yeah, with the computer age, the information age, it comes under different terms, but it has to do with information. Now we don't want big. If I could get this thing and have it fit in a pen that fits in my shirt, that'd be all the better. The smaller the better. The less power. I don't want energy. I don't want size. I want information. And we really get it. By the way, this is more powerful than that world's most powerful computer I worked on. This was back in the 80s that I worked on that, and this thing has got way more powerful. And I had to have a Q clearance, which is a Atomic Energy Commission top secret clearance, because I had to go to Lawrence Livermore Labs in California to work on this computer, and that was. For this computer that you saw the size of it, it had 4 20-ton compressors to run it. If you know what a tonnage of compressors are, that's a lot of energy you're using to run that thing. And this is more powerful by far than that was. That's where we've come today. And we're seeing those kinds of things happening. I wanted to mention, we were talking about prophecy fulfilled, and there are prophecies being fulfilled right now in our living. I was born 2 months after Israel became a nation. It became a nation in May, and in July 4th was my birthday. And so I'm about the same age as the state of Israel, which is about.
Our whole nation celebrates your birthday.
I know it. When I was a kid, that's what I thought. Those fireworks were for me. So. But but that was an amazing thing that happened in May of 1948, and we are now seeing the fulfillment of many of these things. Look at some of the things that are happening that you can look in the newspaper and see. Within the last couple of years, Iran aligned with Russia. That's an alignment that's in Ezekiel 38, I believe it is, Ezekiel 38. And we've gone past Ezekiel 37 is the dry bones chapter. And am I right? I think it's 36 or 37. Is that 37? I think so. And that's what the dry bones chapter says. God comes to Ezekiel and says, "What do you think of this valley of dry bones?" He says, "Well, only you know. Can I raise them up as a nation?" Well, you know whether you can. And God says, "Well, watch this." And he brings them up and makes them a standing army, basically. But they're not alive. They're dead. They're still dead, but they're standing on their feet. That is Israel today, a dead nation. They're spiritually dead. They have the Orthodox Jews there, but the Orthodox Jews, if you've ever gotten a chance to talk with any of them, they are dead. They really are spiritually dead. They're living in a it's like what do you call it when you're kind of brain? I can't think of the word is. I'm sorry? Yeah, like in a coma. And the people there really don't know about God, but that's coming. That is really coming, and they are coming alive. I lived there for 4 years back in the 1980s, and when I was there, we lived in the city of Haifa. And in Haifa, we had a choice between two denominations, two different groups, and so we just had to join what was there. I think there's probably 15 now. I think in Israel itself there's 150 or more Christian churches, Jewish Christian churches. It's filled with them, and we've seen those things happening. Another thing that happened with there, I don't know if you've heard of the Falashian Jews, the Falashi. They come from Ethiopia, and during the time when we were living in Israel, the Ethiopian Jews were coming under persecution, and so they called out, and Israel came to their help, their rescue. They flew in with these jets and landed on to these Ethiopian people that have never seen a jet before. These big silver birds in the sky, and they saw it as a fulfillment in prophecy in Isaiah. Though they that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength, they will rise up and rise up like on wings as eagles. And they were getting into these winged things, and they came to Israel from backward. This is all fulfilled prophecy. This is all things that we're seeing. They were so backward, and I don't mean that in a bad way. They were just primitive. That they were given apartments by the Israeli government, and they thought that they came into this one room and it has these big white porcelain stone water-filled things, and they didn't know what they were for, so they would store their food in there. They didn't know it's a toilet, and so. But they really had to learn. They were jumping centuries in a matter of weeks, and so it's really an amazing thing. Israel is an amazing country, just a fantastically amazing country.